Kosmika. Hello everybody. Hi Pages. How are you doing? Hope you have a lovely day today. 皆様、ページたちごきげんよう。元気でしょうか? Here for the full stream? Nay! I'm really hoping that I won't be having any technical issues today. I forgot to revert some settings that I had to use for the last stream so that I wouldn't get so much lag. But it should, I'm assuming it should be okay. Final Fantasy IV is not it's not a heavy game at all. It's me. How is everyone? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. We are back with more the after years. We're gonna be continuing some grinding. We are I think most of our party should be close to level 30 now, which means I will attempt to continue. I will attempt to start grinding the monsters on the moon. But if they struggle, we'll come back down to the surface. Oh my goodness. Wonderful and illustrious? Wow. Okay. I don't need my guide for right now. We're just grinding. Okay, so I set up my party before we finished last time. Right, so Gekko and Zangetsu. Are they the only ones left that are below level 30? Tired? We did a D&D stream and it lasted way too long. By the time we finished, you had ended too. Oh, I see. Well, I hope you at least had fun. Moon monsters, aren't those just called aliens? Yeah, technically. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, everyone else is at least 30. That is great. Our ultimate goal for this grind is to get everyone to level 40, which is a big grind, but necessary, I think, for what we're to be facing ahead. Lots of fun. Party battled against a toast dragon. A toast dragon. A toast dragon. Like, does it have like a toast head, or it's like made of toast? Interesting. We can let's see. Hello. We can also get some videos going while we're grinding in a bit. We'll wait for people to come in first. As they trickle in, we'll say hi. Let's do some auto battle. A big grind, but you're a gamer, so it's the average Tuesday. Oh wait, it's Monday. I mean, it's an average Monday too. Oh, wow. Tsukinoa hit level 31. Okay, let's swap him out for a level 30. Basically, me in a dragon onesie. Wow, fun. Wait, did you actually wear one? Wait, is this an in-person game or like over like webcam? Okay, let's give up the swap out the level band and put a level 30 in the party. Swap him out for a level 30 that needs to be in the back. Let's see. Potom. Okay. Oops, not her weapon. Her hand gear. No, it wasn't on Nori's stream. I drew my profile picture in a onesie. I'll post it in the Discord. Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, I'd love to see it. But I do encourage owning a onesie. or a kigurumi, as I like to call them, because the trend began in Japan, I believe. Well, kigurumi is what they call it, like okay, so like what we call a onesie, they call a kigurumi. Like, okay, how do I explain it? So, oh, okay. So like, actually, I'm gonna look into the word. Okay, so a plushie they call, oh, I got an achievement. All grown up. Reached level 30 with all characters. We're all grown up. Okay. You posted it. Let me see. You posted an art. Oh, because it is art. That's right. That is cute. That's so funny. Rawr. But what makes it a toast dragon? And it's too hot to wear one all year long. Yeah, no, that's the reason I would love to wear a onesie all year round if it wasn't so hot. I also have that problem. If I had my own, if I had control of the AC, now that's a different question. Cause you're a piece of toast. Ah, okay, I understand now. All grown up, like that Nickelodeon show. Oh wait, Rugrats, right? Let's see. Okay, we gotta swap out Rosa for somebody that's level 30. Now let's try going to the moon actually, now that everyone's level 30. Okay. Swapping out level 30. That needs to be in the back. Ooh, Edward. Yeah, that works. And then give him the level band. It is Rugrats. Okay. How was your weekend? Give me a moment to think. Let's see. Well, Friday we streamed Genshin. Saturday. What did I do on Saturday? What did I do on Saturday? The moon's quiet. I forgot. Ooh, let's see how. Okay, let's see how we fare with having them do auto battle. Oh, oh, ooh, that was a lot of damage. Ooh, oh wait, okay, that's a jump in. Oh wait, okay. Ooh. Oh, wait. Okay. He's low on health. Oh, you know, he doesn't heal. No, shoot. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Here, Gecko. Who is this? Who's this? Bard song. Attack. Oh my gosh, he's at 10 health. Oh my gosh. Wait, she can also raise now. Smelling salts. It missed! Does it only have a chance? Okay, but she can raise 100%. Oyo. Oyo, oyo, oyo. How does it... has 2 turns. That's not fair. Has so much HP. Maybe I should... Maybe I should actually use ninjutsu. Flood? No, wait, Izayoi and Porom. I'll have them use their MP on healing. Porom. Not hold. Oh wait, never mind. Don't think I've seen a green one of these. They're usually purple. Yeah, there are green ones on the moon. Lunar curtain. What does that do? Lunar curtain. Do I have one of those? Oh, that was my first time getting one. Casts reflect and grants physical damage immunity? Wow. Fancy. Okay, their health. Oh, wait. Zangetsu's health is not great. Okay. Okay, I'm not at a point where I can just set them on auto attack and they'll be okay. I have to actually like pay attention and actually manually fight the worm, at least. The worm. Let's see. Maybe I can actually maybe we can get some videos going. I considered maybe putting on some music instead. But hello. Now let's have videos going, so you guys aren't bored of my grinding. Let me get hold on. What do we have here? Here we go. This one over here. No, I put on the side, and then is there anything new that you guys shared? Let me see. Oh yeah, the Lego in Real Life 4 Lego stop motion cooking series. We'll get that going. Didn't think to find other videos, don't even know what to recommend. That's okay. No pressure. This is like the channel's there for like anytime you come up with something or you think of something or you see it yourself and you're like, oh, I want Kosmika to see it too. Okay, let me see. Let me load it up on the side here. Let the ad play. Okay. Is this the right size? I don't think it is. This one. What happened? What happened? What size was it before? There we go. Get the audio going. Oh, it's already... Is this right? No. Let me fix this. Okay. I like home Lego stop motion collection. Lego coffee and what? Oh, one of these. Oh, the coffee beans. Look at that. Oh, we're making coffee. Actually, wait. Oh, gotta do one. Well, I initiated auto talk, so I have to do one round of that. Okay. Ooh, no. Oops. Oh. Bard song. Oh, the espresso. I keep doing whole, no. And steaming the milk. Coffee. And there's a heart. Oh, are we gonna bake cookies? Are we baking cookies? Oh, macarons? Rose macarons? Macaron? Oh, egg. Oh my gosh. What is this? Flour? Almonds. Okay, yeah, it is macarons. Oh my gosh. I love that effect. Oh. What is that? Oh, food coloring. With the fruit? I love how they transform too. Oh, this is the inside. Oh, this is the cream. This is the cream. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you have to do it like this when you're making it. Oh, those are paper. That's clever. Oh my gosh, they're different colors. Different flavors? Ah! Cute. Look at that. Yummy macarons. Stir the coffee. Nom nom. Huge Lego salmon fish. Oh, is it a sushi? Yeah. Korean, but sushi. A Korean sushi restaurant. Ah, fresh fish. Get the fish out. Oh my gosh, it's really big. Oh, it's alive. Oh no. Oh. Thank you for your sacrifice. Love how they cut the fish, yeah. Oh my gosh, there's no blood off the knife. Get the scales off. Wow. I don't want to go too far. Oh! Cut the head off. And the tail. Oh, there we go. Slicing the fish. And the bones. Wait, hold on. Let me pause this. Let me make it so that we don't see ads anymore. Hold on. Where'd it go? Wait, gotta rewind. I want to see the deboning. Wow. Uh-oh. onion. Gotta get Isayoi up. Slicing up the fish. Wow. Salmon. Ooh, that looks so good. I had actually sushi today. It was left over from last night. Ooh, Dispel and Mini. Ooh, wow, look at them. Where'd they go? Okay, let's swap them out. Soy sauce. Oh, that looks so good. That's definitely a more Korean way of eating sushi. Definitely. Actually, it might not even be called sushi. I think it's might be called something else. It's their way of eating raw fish. Huge Lego BBQ. Oh my gosh, it's an axe! Oh, is he gonna grill outside? That's so cool. Oh, chopping the wood? Swapping out Korom. And Izayoi. And Edward. Oh my gosh, the meat! That makes me think of Monster Hunter because you can get an item like this from inside Final Fantasy 14, like a furniture item that looks like a grill with meat on it. And it's Monster Hunter related because it's actually from the Monster Hunter collab thing in Final Fantasy 14. So they brought a grill with meat on it from Monster Hunter into Final Fantasy 14. I've only ever seen meat like that in that. Yeah. This reminds me of another. Oh my gosh, there's a couple of like camping YouTubers, Korean specifically. Wow. It's like they just make videos of them like going outside into you know the woods. Wow, he's eating it like that. They just go out into the woods with like their fancy like camp setups, and it's really interesting to see how they spend their time, like setting up their camp, their tent. Or if it's a lot of times they have like something with their car, or like a camp, like a different kind of camper that you wouldn't normally see. Well, actually, maybe, I don't know. I'm used to, like, you know, in like America where you have like an RV or something. In like Korea, they have more compact type of camping like equipment when it comes to like vehicles. It's really interesting. And like all of the camping gear that they have, I'm pretty sure like we have it in America too. Where like all the the kettles to make hot water, and like the things to eat with, and like the things to cook with. It's really fascinating. Okay, let me see. What else do we have? Okay. Nothing else was shared, so maybe I will go ahead and have stuff in. Oh, there's so many videos we can watch from this Final Fantasy Union channel. It's very apt since we're playing Final Fantasy. Let's start from the oldest. Oh wow. Final Fantasy interview. Orion. Oh, Orion Akaba, he voiced 9 in Type 0. That's cool. Oh, they interviewed like a lot of the voice actors from Type 0. That's pretty cool. This channel's from 10 years ago. Wow. Okay, since I haven't played Type 0, I'm not gonna watch these videos. Let's see. How to cope with Final Fantasy XV's delay. Wait, what does that mean? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, hold on. I should let the ads play on this channel so I can support them.
Dear Dr. K, I used to think I was never meant to be beautiful.
Wait, hold on. You might be hearing it though. There. Okay, let me... do it like this. Oh, this is okay. This is from 8 years ago. FF15's delay? Wait, what do they mean by that? Wait, hold on. Let me Google it on the side. Didn't Final Fantasy 15 come out like before this? Before, like, longer than 8 years ago? Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, it came out in 2016. What were they talking about delay? Oh wait, are they talking about the DLC? I think the DLC did come like a couple years later, huh? Like the last of it?
Hey there, Lauren. Why are you so sad? Is it because Final Fantasy 15 got delayed? Yes, it sucks, doesn't it? Well, don't fret, I'm here to tell you what you can do with your additional 2 months worth of waiting time. What do you say? You could play a board game, read a book, learn a new recipe, learn a new language, go for a walk. Maybe not. It seems quite dark. Oh well, that's for those silly Pokemon players anyway. How about you play another game in your collection? That seems like a great choice.
Final Fantasy 14?
So see, there are many things you can do now that you have 2 extra months until Final Fantasy 15 comes out. So thank you Hajime Tabata for giving us this opportunity and for caring enough to make sure the game is perfect for everyone. We give you a thumbs up.
Ah. I see. Final Fantasy 14 is definitely a good way to spend time. Okay. Infinity Nikki boycott? Everything that happened, but I don't waste your time? What? Huh. I kind of want to watch that. I'm the algorithm has gotten me. It knows I'm playing Infinity Nikki now because I streamed it yesterday. Let's watch that. I didn't even know there was a boycott.
If you want to get a little loofah action going, I would...
Let me just mute that.
Seems that we are not free. It seems that we are not free of drama once again in Meruhen. Now, a group of players decided to boycott Infinity Nikki, so here I'll explain everything that happened. But first, huge disclaimer. Please keep in mind that I just wanted to bring the news and share all of the opinions I found online during this discussion, and that they don't necessarily reflect my own personal opinion. So this whole controversy started on Twitter, as most dramas do. The user felt upset about Infinity Nikki's latest interview that they published on their website, where in this interview...
Wait, what does it say? Infold has openly disrespected the entire community who spent millions opening week. This is not okay, and the only way to get back at them is to stop giving them our money. Please do not spend until Infold recognizes how harmful their greed is. What do they mean by that? What happened?
The devs mention how they actively try to avoid using FOMO tactics to force players to engage with the game daily. They share how they want players to come back to the game to relax and have fun, and not grind for diamonds and poles only. Despite being generally a really positive message, a group of players still got upset about this article and decided.
Let me read this. Okay. Many free-to-play games look for ways to keep players engaged daily, including the concept of fear of missing out, FOMO. In comparison, Infinity Nikki seems more cozy and laid back. How do you balance this concept with wanting players to feel engaged often? Okay, that's the question. And the answer is our original intention has always been to create a relaxed, casual, and enjoyable open world game filled with fun and the joy of collecting beautiful things, offering players a space to unwind in the midst of their busy lives. During the development of Infinity Nikki, we've always prioritized player enjoyment and experience. We deliberately avoided using mechanisms like fear of missing out, FOMO, to pressure players into logging in. We want them to return because they genuinely enjoy the game. To achieve this, we focused on making the game itself the reason players want to log in, day after day. Reminds me how it was crazy people got caught cheating in the game. I'm like, why cheat on the easiest gacha? That doesn't surprise me, actually, because, you know, there's a lot of outfits that you can only get by, you know, pulling from the banners, and they'll give the best stats, which that's my guess. And obviously people don't want to pay. Where was I? To achieve this goal, we've incorporated various elements within the game to keep our players interested. Consistently updated content. We regularly release captivating new storylines, charming characters, and exciting events, ensuring that players are always greeted with surprise and anticipation each time they enter the game. Play at your own pace. We've designed the game with player-friendly mechanics, allowing them to enjoy the game at their own pace. Whether playing for short periods every day or diving into deep sessions occasionally, players won't feel like they've missed out on anything important. That makes me feel better, actually, because like I do want to get caught up with Infinity Nikki. I'd like to actually play it more actively. And like I've just had to accept that I've missed a lot already, and I probably did, but it sounds like they don't make it difficult to get caught up. And the vibe I'm getting is that they're not gonna make things okay. According to their claim, at least according to their claim of not wanting to create FOMO. I'm assuming that if you do miss something, it'll come back later, which is usually the case with gacha, right? They rerun banners. Events is what I'm concerned about, like something that Hoyoverse is very guilty of. At least for Genshin, it's less of an issue with Honkai Star Rail, which is nice. Is when there are events, at least like story driven events, you can in Star Rail you can play them later. You'll have missed out on like the limited time rewards, but you can at least do the quests later. Which I really wish Genshin had. On most surveys that that like are asking for like that ask for open-ended things, I frequently mention please rerun old events, because there are a few events I have missed. I am a day one player, but I did miss a few events because I didn't have time to play, or I actually quit for a brief time. I rage quit for a brief time. So there are a few events I missed, and I would like to experience at least the story, and like I'll accept not being able to get like the limited time like rewards, even like there's a Mondstadt event I missed where you got like a limited time weapon. It was a 4-star weapon, but it was the only way to get that weapon, and I am sad that I don't have it because I like collecting things and like, you know. But you know, I would still like to have experienced the story of the event. And there's also, I think I also missed one Lantern Rite 1 year. which also makes me sad because I like Xiao a lot. He's always a big he's always a main figure in the Lantern Right event. Where was I? Our monetization approach. We're not a pay to win game. Are you sure? Paid content will never impact the game's balance or core experience. It's an optional addition that allows players to enrich their experience based on their personal preferences. We want every player, whether paying or not, to feel that they're experiencing the full joy of the game. Through these, okay, it's about that. So that's actually not wrong. In pretty much every gacha game, you can get by being a free-to-play player. You just have to accept the fact that you won't get, you're obviously not going to get enough resources from playing the game to get all of like the new 5-star stuff or S rank stuff, but the like the 4-star stuff and the A rank stuff, they are created to be strong enough to get you through content. You may not be able to get through like the high end game stuff, but the base, at least the base game and like the main story, all of like the free stuff, the lower ranking stuff, it will get you through. So through these approaches, we aim for Infinity Nikki to be not just a game, but a relaxing open world that players can enjoy at their own pace.
To boycott the game. Many users were actually confused, like I was, on what exactly was the issue. The people involved who were posting refused to give details or explanation and were simply linking the article over and over again without further context. So I decided to investigate people's opinions, all of the comments, so we can add to the discussion and truly see all of the points of view here. From my research, I found 4 different points. Some say the boycott status simply means read the article. Some say they are just loyal defenders. Some say they think that info is blatantly lying about it. I couldn't hear because of the article over and over again without further context. So I decided to investigate people's opinions, all of the comments, so we can add to the discussion and truly see all of the points of view here. From my research, I found 4 different points. Some say the boycott status simply means read the article. Some say they are just loyal defenders. Some say they think that info is blatantly lying about it in the article. And lastly, some said that they decided to boycott, but for other reasons, which we will address at the end of the video. So now let's address each point. First, the general sentiment on Reddit is that most people think the boycott status simply misread the article, but the tweets ended up blowing up and now they feel like it's too late to back down. I won't delve into this.
That's so silly.
There is no way to attest if this is true or not. We cannot read minds after all. But I did want to check all of the reasons for the boycott to avoid invalidating people's feelings. I believe what we can do instead is to think critically about a game we love and provide feedback so it can improve with a helpful strategy rather than emotionally react and later regret. Second point is that some say the boycotters are just raging loyal defenders who are upset about another gacha game succeeding and profiting. While
that's what they mean by a loyal defender.
People like that on Twitter, I don't think we need to bother or address them. Haters will always exist, but they are a small minority. Not to mention, I genuinely feel like most of the loyal defenders or these extreme people on Twitter are actually bots, like actual paid AI bots.
That's
especially considering this is Twitter.
That's probably not far from the truth.
But I will address some of the comparison with loyal games, more specifically Genshin, which is more similar to Nikki, on the next point, which is that some think info is blatantly lying in this interview, and they're upset about the dishonesty. Now this is an interesting point, and there are many things we need to address when discussing this. First, let me be devil's advocate here and remind you that Infinity Nikki is a predatory gacha game. Infinity Nikki is much more generous than other gacha games.
Frustrated with the way you currently file your tax?
Okay. Let this...
And Infinity Nikki does avoid using FOMO as a tactic. Not completely, but it does. all these statements can be true at the same time, so
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk about each one of these. Infinity Nikki is a predatory gacha game. Yes, gacha games are predatory.
Yeah.
Having to pay real money you earn after slaving away your life in a 9 to 5 just to buy a digital 3D character or a digital 3D outfit is predatory. There is no way to see this in any other different way. Unfortunately, the capitalistic society we live in sucks, and it's reaching its limit. There is no way to be a well-adjusted person in an ill society. If you're upset about that,
When you're playing a gacha game and you're paying money to play it, you know, you should be doing it responsibly. You should be, you know... But that's not on the company, the game companies or the publishers. It's not the game publishers or game companies' responsibility, right? To teach a player to play responsibly. They even have to, you know, put little like mentions in the game. Please play responsibly. Don't over purchase or something, like, you know, something along those lines. They tend to have those messages in the game, especially in the shop where you make the purchases. It's and like it's all the fine print is there, the terms of service is there, you know, the agreement. It's, you know, you don't have to spend money. Like I mentioned earlier, like you can get through the game just fine with the free stuff and the free characters. You just have to be realistic about it, right?
then absolutely let's get together and change the society. We need to remember though that this isn't Infinity Nikki's fault specifically, and
Yeah.
that all of the entertainment industry, not just gacha games, not just video games, not just movies, media, everything is a part of this problem. It's easy to point fingers at a specific brand, person, or community and forget that this is a much bigger underlying issue. Next is that Infinity Nikki is a much more generous game than other gacha games. And yes, it is true, I'm a gacha game player and I'm a spender who has spent money on every gacha I have ever played. No matter how you feel at the moment, if we compare Infinity Nikki with other gachas, not just Genshin, but games like Reverse 99, AFK Journey, and even old Nikki games like Shiny Nikki and more, Infinity Nikki is much more generous. First,
Is
in
it?
this
Okay, that's
game,
good to
you
know.
only go for cosmetics. You do not need any outfit for anything. You can clear the entire game
Right.
content without ever pulling for
Right.
any outfit. We still get tons of free outfits every update. And yes,
Hello.
you may want all the dresses, but as a free-to-play player, you simply won't be able to pull for everything. That's the reality,
Exactly what I said.
and has been this way since the release, so I don't think this is the issue now. Additionally, to exemplify Infinity Nikki's generosity, I decided to compare it with Genshin Impact just because it's the most similar gacha we have at the moment, so we can have a good visual for clarity. I've calculated that on average, not exact numbers because I'm not a maths girl here, average not per patch but per month, since the games have different patch lengths, that as a free-to-play player we get around 50 pulls per month on Genshin, while on Infinity Nikki we get around 70 pulls per month. That means it takes around 2 months for you to be able to pull 5 stars on both games. Now, you can see these numbers aren't all that different. The reason why I say Nikki is more dangerous is that you actually get
Generous. She meant
value
generous.
on each pull.
Or they
While
meant
in
generous.
Genshin, you add absolutely nothing out of the many pulls you make. Also in Genshin, you have to win the 50-50. If you don't, then you will need 4 months to be able to pull the single 5-star character you desire.
Yeah.
Lastly, on Genshin, if you don't pull certain strong characters, you will struggle to clear the content and therefore will get less and less pulls each patch, increasingly slowing you down. Not to mention 4 stars have absolutely no pity. I have a Dolphin account.
I would argue that if you play with the right 4-star characters in Genshin, you can get by just fine. If you level them properly, you know, build them out.
and I still don't have Satos to this day. Yeah, at
Wait,
least
who?
Nikki, you get odd pieces that you don't have Satos to this day. You know, PT, I have a Dolphin account and I still don't have Satos to this day.
Who? I can't understand the name that they're saying.
Absolutely no PT. I have a Dolphin account and I still don't have Satos to this.
Huh? Oh, Sethos. Ah, okay, Sethos. I didn't get Sethos until later by accident.
Day. Yeah, at least in Nikki, you get odd pieces that you can mix and match to make your outfits. Not to mention the ocean blessing, which can help you guarantee the specific piece you want under 100 pulls. Now, do I agree that this should be last pulls? Absolutely. But moving on to our last statement in this point, Infinity Nikki does avoid using FOMO as a tactic. Yes, they do. They're not lying, they truly believe that. And of course, they are not the saints of gacha, but they do avoid using FOMO tactics in comparison to not only other gacha games, but their own old gacha games, which is exactly what they are talking about in the article, that they are improving this in comparison to Shiny Nikki and Love Nikki. For that, we need to understand what FOMO strategy means. It is to create a sense of urgency, to encourage immediate action and immediate purchases. And I think we can be honest here and admit that Infinity Nikki is great at avoiding the immediate action part, but not so much the immediate purchase part. What I mean is, you do not need to log in every single day in Infinity Nikki. And even if you do, you can easily finish all your dailies in under 5 minutes on the clock. The only repetitive system you need to go through is the Mirror Crown, which is extremely easy and also extremely fast in comparison to a Spiral Beast, for example, not to mention who implements increasingly annoying mechanics to make us waste more and more time each update. If you do struggle with Mirror Crown, I have tons of tips and I can make
Mirror something? Well, I haven't unlocked that, whatever that is, I think.
Not to mention who implements increasingly annoying mechanics to make us waste
Things such as characters targeting objects rather than enemies, long enemy animations where they can't be hit on a challenge that is essentially a time trial, constant shields, characters being dephased quickly, and the whole kill two enemies at the same time or do it all again for no fun reason at all. Oh my gosh, the kill two enemies at the same time thing. I instantly think of those samurais in Inazuma. Oh my gosh, they're so annoying. Because you know what happens? So like they usually come in pairs. And if you kill one of them, only one of them, the other one heals themselves. Not fully, but they heal themselves. And it's a pain because they're very tanky. It's so annoying. Sounds annoying that they do this in... I guess they do it in a certain part of Infinity Nikki too. That's unfortunate.
It's more and more time each update. If you do struggle with Mirror Crown, I have tons of tips and I can make a new update.
And double their damage, yeah.
So please let me know in the comments if you'd like that. But on the purchase front, Infinity Nikki does still have FOMO tactics in place. Things like the percentage feature that they added and the store deals which are time limited. But you can decide to not spend on these deals without having to boycott Infinity Nikki specific. I say that because I do not want to be dismissive of this issue, so I'd like to share a little bit of my personal opinion. Like I've said on the first point of this video, Infinity Nikki, like other gacha games, does still have FOMO elements, and we should be upset about this. Yes, this is part of a much larger issue, and it is not fair to blame Infold for the fact that FOMO exists. For my personal opinion, I don't believe boycotting Infold will resolve all of our problems. These tactics will continue to exist in this and other games. What we need to do is show companies that we are willing to pay for permanent content and not limited deals. We as consumers dictate what products are sold to us by spending our money consciously. If you only spend money on what you believe in, companies will only sell the products that are being bought. But this is a longer conversation for another video. I just wanted to share a little bit to make you think about it. The last point I have seen being mentioned around is that some people decided to boycott not because of the article, but because they think there is a lack of content on Infinity Nikki. So before we move on, let me say that this is a difficult point for me to discuss personally. So this last point will have my full personal opinion. There is no other way to discuss this. I do understand that the current patch is a filler patch, yes. We've been getting tons of events, free outfits, and even a new
I gotta run.
region and
Gotta run.
dungeon over
Gotta
the
run.
course of 4 months. The game has only been out for 4 months. I'm currently unemployed with a lot of free time, and Infinity Nikki has been
Get out.
basically the only game I've played for the last 4 months. You can check my YouTube channel if you don't believe me, and I still haven't finished all the content. What are you guys talking about? I'm so sorry. Again, I do not want to be dismissive. Like, sometimes we gotta touch grass, guys. I'm serious. I'm addicted to video games, but like,
Oh no,
you
stuck.
know, we have to interact with our friends and family. We have to clean our houses. We have to cook our food. Like, I don't know what to say about this last point because I genuinely cannot see it. I'm happy to hear.
So that point about the game lacking content sounds like it could potentially be coming from minors who, why did I go back to the ship? Who are still in school is my guess. I don't know about the adults, like the working adults, but like people who are still in school, they're gonna have plenty of time to play, right? So they'll have gone through like all the content in no time. I should use Drive. That's my guess.
Hear your opinions. If you disagree, that's absolutely fine. But you know, even if you finished every single piece of content in this game, even if you really crafted every single 363 sketches, crafted all of the miracle outfits in their second copies, you can still log in and max your daily insight and gather materials every single day, which should take around 2 hours. 2 hours of the same game.
Must be nice having time. I know, right?
A lot, I think. But who knows? I guess that's an unpopular opinion of mine, but I'm happy to hear your opinions, whether you agree with that or not. Just a little reminder, let's be civil. This community is so wholesome and so kind, so let's continue being kind to each other, okay? We can still think critically about the game while loving it and wanting it to improve, but also respect other people's opinions and be kind to each other. I hope this brought clarity on what the boycott is about, and these are all of the opinions that I found reading through Twitter and Reddit. I may have missed some. Please feel free to share your opinion about it. I love reading you guys' comments. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.
Thank you for that video. Okay, interesting. And this video was posted 6 days ago. So I guess this boycott thing was recent. Interesting. Okay. Let's go back to Final Fantasy Union. Okay. 12 Final Fantasy games that were announced in the past 12 months. From 8 years ago. You know what? Let's see what oh gosh, this might be really sad.
I think I just won my
Muting it.
Time it is to be a fan of What a time it is to be a fan of a specific video game franchise. Yes, you read the title of the video correctly. With yesterday's announcement of Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, it means that Square Enix has announced 12, yes, that's 12 Final Fantasy games in the past 12 months. That's a new game announced every month. Just wrap your head around that.
Wait, I gotta pause.
But before we get on to what those 12 games are, let's just take a step
That aged very poorly. Because Dissidia Opera Omnia shut down last year.
Just one of their franchises in a single year. And that's not forgetting all the other games they've announced in the past year from other studios like Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Deus Ex Go, Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
Oh my
if we
gosh.
extended the timeline a little, we could have also included World of Final Fantasy and the Final Fantasy VII Remake, both of which were announced at E3 2015, and the Western localization of Final Fantasy Explorers.
Never mind. This didn't age very well. Let's go find another one. Going through the catalog. Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 review. Can't watch that. We haven't played 15 yet. 7 antagonists we need in Dissidia Arcade main series. Haven't played the main Dissidia game. Well, what? Oh, why do they have Beatrix on the thumbnail? She's not an antagonist. Yeah, okay, no, I haven't played enough of the series to know all the antagonists, and I don't want spoilers. Top 5 female characters who are playable. No, this is actually hard to choose because we haven't gone through some of the games yet. 8 reasons you should be hyped for World of Final Fantasy. Okay. Haven't played it yet.
World of Final Fantasy was supposed to be the cherry on the cake of an awesome year for Final Fantasy.
Which FF games have you played? Hi also. Hello! So which ones I have played? So far, I've played 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently in the After Years, which is the sequel to 4. 7, original 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 2. And then I skipped a bunch, or I missed a bunch. And then 14. I currently play 14. I have not played 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16. And I haven't played any of the offshoots. Like Tactics or World of Final Fantasy. Yeah. Let me start this over.
World of Final Fantasy was supposed to be the cherry on the cake of an awesome year for Final Fantasy. A cutesy game filled with cameos from all my favorite characters throughout the years. It would have complemented my thirst for nostalgia after beating Final Fantasy 15 to death. But with the
Which is your favorite? Oh gosh. I enjoy them all. But if I have to pick one, I have to say 14. A little biased because I like MMOs.
To Final Fantasy 15, that scenario is no longer applicable. Instead, we've been
Wait, what
left with
scenario?
one that's 15, Final Fantasy 15 to death. But with the unfortunate delay to Final Fantasy 15, that scenario is no longer applicable. Instead, we've been left with one that's arguably even better. Oops. Picture this. World of Final Fantasy now serves as an appetizer, like a wonderful piece of garlic bread, there to get me salivating beyond belief to build my levels of anticipation to the point where I'm probably going to burst when Final Fantasy 15 arrives as the main course. And if you aren't feeling the same way, hopefully this video will convince you otherwise, as I'm about to take you through 8 reasons why you should be hyped for World of Final Fantasy, and maybe some garlic bread. The art style. The one thing that is most recognizable about World of Final Fantasy is the art style. The brainchild of Yasuhisa Isumisawa, characters will be redesigned in super deformed chibi style to help make
I gotta run away. I have to figure out how to deal with this.
Because they are adorable. Fun fact, Isumisawa also worked on the art for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, something that Daryl is rather excited about. Lon and Rain, the two main characters, also have a bit more of a traditional visual style. It was designed, of course, by Tetsuya Nomura and looks rather similar to what you would see in Kingdom Hearts. Different locations will use the different styles, but when they're in the world of Grimoire, it's all about the chibi style. It's releasing on PS4 and PS Vita. Not only will the game come out on PS4, but it will also be releasing at the same time on the PlayStation Vita. Hiroki Chiba, the director, said he wanted to use the power of the PS4 and the portability of the PS Vita. The game will therefore use
that explains the chibi style.
Between the two, depending on where you're
at. It was
I love
basically meant for the PS Vita
consoles, so I'm rather excited about the PS Vita version. Which are you getting? Reintroduces the ATB system. One of the staple parts of Final Fantasy is often considered to be the active time battle system. Designed by Hiroyuki Ito, it was introduced in Final Fantasy IV and featured in every game after until Final Fantasy X, which used a more unique system called conditional turn-based battle. Other games since have used evolved systems. Final Fantasy XII was
World of Final Fantasy is actually so good. I really need to finish it. I do want to play it. I do want to play it.
Synergy battle, and Lightning Returns used style change active time battle. Unlike recent additions to the franchise, such as Final Fantasy Type 0 and Final Fantasy 15, World of Final Fantasy reverts back to using a variant of the active time battle, albeit a little modified to make it look a bit more modern than we're used to seeing in the SNES and PlayStation era.
Okay.
Hamwazu is composing the soundtrack.
Ooh.
With Yokoshi Nomura taking up composing duties in the next major Final Fantasy game, it means Masashi Hamwazu is free to lend his excellent compositional
He's a good
skills
composer
to
too. His
Final
music is
Fantasy.
really good.
Over the years, he's composed some awesome tracks such as Blinded by Light in Final Fantasy 13, backseat in Final Fantasy 10, and Wish in Final Fantasy 13 too.
Yeah, he did
I'm
really good
excited to see
tracks
what he
for
brings to the table
for 10.
World of Final Fantasy, especially due to the cutesy art style that's presented throughout. Over 100 hours of content. It's been said that World of Final Fantasy's story content is over 100 hours.
Oh wait, hold on. I meant to look up how to deal with these lunar viruses. I feel like they keep healing themselves and they're like impossible to kill practically. Hold on, let me look it up. Final Fantasy for the After Years lunar virus. Inflicts poison, so the players should have antidotes on hand. Right, yes. So what happens? Affinities. Oh, wait. Restorative? Minus 100%. So if I heal it, does it do damage? I have to try. Oops. Okay, let me try healing. Heal the lunar virus. Oh, it ran away. Never mind. Okay. Okay, Yang can't do anything because he's not magic. She can heal. We gotta depend on Kalka and Leonora. Okay, finally won a battle. Okay.
It's like Mirage training. With Final Fantasy 15 not coming out until a month after, it seems rather perfect to me. I can't wait to dive into the game without having to worry about anything else. My only concern is whether I'll be able to get everything finished in time for the release of 15. So many classic monsters, mirages. One of the big things about World of Final Fantasy for me at least was how many classic monsters are returning as mirages. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Oh.
Lauren, classic monsters always return in Final Fantasy games. Well, yes, you're right, but they didn't return like this. Although Final Fantasy 13-2 has a similar system whereby monsters fought alongside you, World of Final Fantasy will also see them get rendered in the same chibi style as the returning characters. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see how they've all been treated. There are said to be around 200 appearing in the game, all of which can be trained. It should be awesome. Hiroki Chiba. Hiroki Chiba has actually been working at Square Enix since 1993. Yes, some 23 years. He's had quite a varied career, working as an event planner on Final Fantasy VII, through to being the lead scenario writer on Final Fantasy Type 0. However, World of Final Fantasy represents the first time he's stepped into the director's chair. The games he's been involved in from a story perspective are some of my favorites, and I can't wait to see how this translates into World of Final Fantasy, as he's not only written the scenario, but also gets to direct the game how he sees fit. From all of his interviews, he sounds very excited to be given this opportunity, and I'm sure it will be the start of a great new beginning for him at Square Enix. Character nostalgia. Okay, so this one is pretty obvious, but I'm really excited for all the characters who will be returning for World of Final Fantasy. We've had similar experiences in the past thanks to Kingdom Hearts and Dissidia, but with World of Final Fantasy, I'm hoping that the returning characters will have strong interactions and will help to drive the story along. It's also pleasing to see some of the lesser-known characters getting a push, like Shelt from Dirge of Cerberus,
Hex, what the heck?
Refia from Final Fantasy 3, and Charlotta from Crystal Chronicles. I know I've mentioned the art style already, but I can't wait to see them interact with chibi versions of my favorite characters. It's just so difficult to contain my excitement. Alright, so that was 8 reasons why you should be hyped for World of Final Fantasy.
Nice.
If you haven't pre-ordered yet, why not? We've got links in the description for you. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
I should probably do group
Until next
group
time,
healing.
this is Lauren signing out.
Thank you. I'm gonna focus on this fight. Oh, shoot. No. Ada. Cure everybody. Yeah. Oh shoot, I need to Asuna the poison people. It takes so much MP, but that's okay. Oh, finally. Okay. Nice. Okay. Let's head back to the ship. No. Oh gosh. Actually, you know what? Actually, we'll fight until we have to run away. Uh-oh. Oh no, I'm panicking. Retreat? Okay, bye. Oh yeah! Okay, escape. Escape. Okay, yeah. Let's get to the ship. Ah yeah! Okay. Who is not equipment? Is anybody I'm going to be swapping out poison? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll just take it off of her. Okay. And then, okay, so we're going to be swapping out Harley and Kalka. I assume that they're going to be revived in full. Oh, well, I assume even dead characters will be revived in full when you swap them out. Okay, so let me get the level bands off of them. I'm getting a little peckish, so I think I might step away briefly to grab food from the kitchen. Yeah, okay. Okay, Harley. I think actually that might be all of the. Oh, you know what? No, it's fine. Okay. Let me actually. Okay, we'll keep Harley in the party. Level 31 is our lowest. We're at our lowest level for everybody right now. So that's. We'll swap out when one of them reaches 32. But I will swap out Kalka. Food, yes. Tabimono. Let me swap Kalka out for someone who should be in the back. Rosa. Okay. Let me give the level bands. Put it back on Harley. And then give the other one to Rosa. Let me heal. Oopsies. Let me heal Ursula. No, wait, let's use Rosa. She has more MP. Ah, yeah. Rosa, yes. She's a lot of MP, but that makes sense. She's a higher level and more experienced white mage. Okay. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's see. What else do they have? Thank you. World of Final Fantasy, 5 surprising characters. World of Final Fantasy complete A to Z guide. Best review ever. 10 things you didn't know about Hajime Tabata, Final Fantasy 15's director. I feel like I would enjoy that better if I played 15. Final Fantasy Awakening? WTF is Final Fantasy Awakening? Huh? I'm gonna mute the ad.
Time.
Oh yeah.
I felt this kind of flew under the radar a little. But how many of you have heard of Final Fantasy Awakening? If you have, make sure you give yourself a massive pat on the back, because if you've been keeping up with this, you definitely deserve it. Final Fantasy Awakening has actually been in development for some time by Perfect World, a Chinese development studio who have worked on games such as Jade Dynasty and more recently, Neverwinter. We just haven't heard much about it because it's been in development under a different name. I mean, I'm guessing most of you have heard of Final Fantasy Type 0 Online by now. It's a game that was announced over a year ago at the 2015 Tokyo Game Show as a replacement for both Final Fantasy Agato and the cancelled Final Fantasy Agato Plus. Well, it was announced a few weeks ago that Final Fantasy Type 0 Online has actually been renamed, and it would now be known as Final Fantasy Awakening. However, despite this name change, as far as I'm aware, the game will still be retaining everything else that was planned, so it still features the same type everything, from characters such as Ace, Rem, and Machina, through to the proposed gameplay and story. It just won't be referred to as part of the Type/Agato universe anymore in terms of the game's official naming convention. I'm guessing the main motivation for this change is to make the game seem more appealing. I know that the original PSP version of Type 0 did release in the Asian market, albeit in Japanese with a Chinese manual, and there was a version of Type 0 HD that got released with Chinese subtitles, but I have no idea what that did for the brand recognition of the Type 0 franchise in that region. What I do know is that if you have no idea what Type 0 is, saying that this game is the online version of it is likely to be a pretty big barrier. Switching to something a bit more generic like Final Fantasy Awakening makes it sound fresh and dynamic and is therefore a much better marketing ploy, even if it spits in the face of continuity. I mean, it's not like it's the first time Square has done something like this when they're trying to seed the franchise into a new market, am I right? Just look at the classic switcheroos like Final Fantasy
what was
4
that?
6,
Oh wait, go back.
We're known as Final Square has done something like this when they're trying to seed the franchise into a new market, am I right? Just look at the classic switcheroos like Final Fantasy 4 and 6, which of course were known as Final Fantasy 2 and 3 in North America.
Oh right, that, yeah.
And of course there's even Final Fantasy Adventure and Final Fantasy Legend, which when they were released in Japan were known as Mana and Saga. It's not known yet whether this name change will be applied to just the Chinese market or whether other regions will also have the game releasing as Final Fantasy Awakening. I mean, to be honest, it's still pretty hazy as to whether we'll even get this game in the West. They did confirm it, yes.
They didn't. I mean, we didn't.
Everything's been rather quiet, and there's never really been any official communication.
At least not that I'm aware of.
Anything to do with this game. In China, at least, it's gone through quite a lot of testing, and if Google/Bing Translate can be trusted enough, we know that the next round of testing will revolve around the iOS version of the game. That's scheduled to happen on the 16th of November, so stuff is still going on with the Chinese version at least. Anyway, I just wanted to pull this video together as more of a PSA than anything else, but I have been thinking about doing a video run-through of the history of the Type franchise, as although it's pretty damn new, it's still gone
FF
through
Legends, Saga, and 1 and 2 were great
Probably
games too,
more than
actually.
most people realise.
Yeah,
From
the
naming
Saga
conventions,
games,
platform changes to
and
when you actually jot it all down, it's nuts.
Seiken
If it's
Densetsu,
something
I
you'd
would
really
like to
see,
eventually
let me
play
know.
those as well.
So anyway, hopefully you're now in the loop about Final Fantasy Awakening. If I've missed anything out that's
Oh
pretty
shoot, I forgot. I meant
please let me know. As
we're
someone
aiming
who
for
really
32
enjoyed
right
Type-0
now.
and the world it created, I hope we could start to learn even more about Final Fantasy Awakening in the near future. And who knows, maybe one day the game will actually be released on our shores. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, please share this video around so that more people can be made aware of this change, as you probably won't be hearing too much about Final Fantasy Type 0 Online anymore. Anyway, this is Daryl signing out. See you next time, guys.
I don't know anything about Type 0 Online. That took me by surprise. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me look that up. Saga games are kind of hard, but mostly really good. I'm sure. Final Fantasy Type 0 online? Wait, this actually sounds kind of familiar. Huh? Okay, huh? Does Final Fantasy Type 0 have multiplayer? Okay, yeah, most of the searches are asking about multiplayer, online multiplayer. Let me go to a wiki. Let's see. Okay, online. Huh. Wait. Okay, maybe I should look up Final Fantasy Awakening. Here we go. Final Fantasy Awakening was an action role-playing game developed by Perfect World Games and Square Enix for iOS and Android. It was first released by Perfect World in China by Perfect World in December 2016, with releases in other language, including English, over the following 2 years from other publishers. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I guess it did release outside of. Oh, there was a soft launch in the U.S. Okay. Its English release was the first Final Fantasy title to be licensed by Square Enix to another company. The English version closed in 2019 due to service changes, and all other versions shut down in May 2020 with the end of the licensing deal. Awakening is set in the universe of Final Fantasy Type 0, a spin-off title within the Fabula Nova Crystallis subseries. That's the one that is that's the Final Fantasy 13 and 15. Wait, hold on. Let me look, check that. Yeah, 13. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're like all in like the same kind of universe actually. 13. Yeah, like 13, Type 0, and 15 are all technically in the same universe. Anyway, players took on the role of a cadet of the Dominion of Rubrum as the 4 nations of Orience are plunged into war. The players could engage in missions, fighting foes using hack-and-slash style gameplay using parties of 5 characters. All gameplay was multiplayer exclusive, featuring both cooperative and player versus player modes. Okay. Planning began in 2014 after the online elements of Final Fantasy Agito stalled due to technical difficulties. According to the original director Hajime Tabata, Awakening was the true realization of his earliest plans for Type 0. The game was overseen by staff from Square Enix, while the main development was handled by Perfect World, who were chosen due to their good track record for domestic and international online games. So like the whole Agito thing, that's like a whole like mystery to me. Like they were gonna do something with like the Final Fantasy 15 was initially supposed to be something else. Okay, but I should probably not get distracted by that too much. I had no idea there were ever plans for a Type 0 online. It was like it was essentially gonna be a online mobile game. Well, it was a mobile game. Like can't think of any similar games, but yeah, like it was like an online multiplayer mobile game. Apparently, didn't last very long though. All right, let's see what else they got. Final Fantasy X-3 pretty much confirmed 8 years ago, and 8 years later we don't have it at X-3.
Skincare can start in the laundry room.
Yeah, 15 was going to be versus 13, but development hell happened, so now we have 15. Right. Agito Type 0 was similar, I think. Turned out differently than originally intended, so now it's kind of its own thing. Right.
there have been rumblings of a Final Fantasy X-3 for quite some time now. And these fires were stoked 2 years ago when we learned about the exact contents of what would be releasing alongside Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD Remaster. Anyway, at the time, not only did we get a wonderful audio drama, which was called Final Fantasy X Will, there was also a novel that was titled Final Fantasy X 2.5 Price of Eternity. Yep, they really did call it 10 2.5. Chronologically, the Final Fantasy X experience so far is Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X Eternal Calm, Final Fantasy X-2, Final Fantasy X-2 Last Mission, Final Fantasy X 2.5 Price of Eternity, and Final Fantasy X Will. That's a lot of Final Fantasy X, and if you haven't kept up with all of this, the TLDR is that Titus is now back full-time. Yep, no more of that fading away.
Wait, okay, no, we're gonna stop that, because there's more to the story. There was like some story novel, like maybe that novel that she was talking about, and that was a whole mess. I think we'll touch that on another day. I should use a stronger heal. I'm being too conservative with my MP usage. Cure oh shoot, no, I meant to do the whole party. Oh man. They hit hard. Okay, let me get Rosa up. No. You know, okay, let me run. Everyone's squishy, everyone's squishy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I've been meaning to ask about how it actually is the after years anyway. I've heard a lot of mixed opinions over the years. It's very similar to 4, which should be a given, I think. There are some differences. For example, there is a mechanic with the moon and its phases. So like every number of hours is gonna be a certain moon phase. So it's years. So basically, you're taking 4 and you're adding some stuff. So so right now it's a full moon, and depending on the phase of the moon, different things will be affected. So right now, the full moon, it increases black magic attacks, but reduces normal attacks, if that makes sense. And then a different phase will be like increases white magic, decreases special attacks, which is what the shuriken is, and so on. And it's just like something else to like keep in mind as you're going through the game. Some areas or some monsters only come out during like the new moon, which is kind of like the scary phase, because like strong monsters tend to come out. And it's also, I think the new moon phase also affects your HP, I think, something like that. But yeah, the new moon is kind of like the scary phase because stronger monsters are out and you could die easier. But other than that, the other phases tend to be pretty manageable. And another mechanic that they added to the after years is bands. Bands are group abilities. So, and there are different bands that require different party members. So like this one, for example, a little black magic, this needs Leonora and Palom in the party. And then for Frostwave, it's Leonora and Izayoi. And Call Me Queen is these 4 people. And some of them like are weapon specific, and some of them are like other kinds of specific things. So like with this, I think Leonora would need a whip. It does say call me queen. And they're strong group attacks. They consume MP for both of the characters or both of the party members, but the payoff is good. They're very strong abilities. Other than that, there's also like a different and I guess so they're all in the after years there are also they call them tales. You can think of them as chapters basically. Each character has their own chapter essentially. Let me actually I'll show you. Let me save. Well, rest first. Let me rest first so I can get them up and save, and then I'll show you what I mean by that. Oh, wait. No, yeah, up here. No, I went the wrong way. I went the wrong way entirely. Yeah. Wait, hold on. We go back to the downstairs where they're not called rest chambers. They are something chambers. See, okay, so it changed to the next phase because a certain amount of time has passed. So currently it's the waning moon, which means normal attacks are stronger, but special attacks are weaker. It may or may not affect HP or MP. Like some effects, some moon phases have an effect on HP and MP as well. And resting will force the next phase to come. So now it's going to be a new moon. So for the new moon, so white magic is weaker, but special attacks are stronger. I think it also affects either HP or MP, but yeah. And then let me save. They may have looked different already by looking at the save files, the save slots. So yeah, so starting from the main menu, you start by selecting a tale. So like these are the different tales or like chapters, and each character has their own tale. And by the time you reach the last tale or the last chapter, everything you've done in all of the previous tales will be available in the last chapter. So like whatever level they were, whatever money they had, whatever items they had, it will all be available in the last chapter. Some people who have played this game recommend that you grind as much as possible in each tale to like their cap level. I didn't think that would be an issue, like a huge issue. It ended up kind of being an issue, but it's okay. That's what we're addressing now. We're grinding now to level up our party members. I didn't realize how strong the monsters would be in the final dungeon, or whatever dungeon we're supposed to go to next. One of the final dungeons, if not the final dungeon. Yeah, I was able to get through the previous tales with the characters at lower levels because it was manageable, or easy actually. In some cases they were easy, but the monsters in this one of the final dungeon, they're very strong. So, and I had a hard enough time just getting around the moon, which is like the last one of the last areas that you run around in, and just the overworld monsters were very, very strong. That's why I decided to grind. I wanted to get to everyone to at least level 40, which I think should be a good enough level to proceed. Reminds me of FF3. Everything is manageable. Now I'm in the final dungeon. It's no longer manageable. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. I would say it's even worse in this game. Like in FF3, like definitely the final dungeon, things were stronger. But you could get stronger while doing the final dungeon, which is my preferred approach. Like, I take my time going through the final dungeon so I can level during the process. And then it makes it easier. And like, it becomes gradually easier because you're getting stronger, right? For 4, I would say also for 4, as well as the after years. Oh boy, that final dungeon. Oh boy. Well, in 4, I actually didn't have too hard of a time. It was a challenge, definitely. I didn't have to grind too much though. I was already like a not too low a level, I think. But yeah, this one is tough. Yeah, I would say this is definitely harder than 4, but I don't mind that. I don't mind a challenge. I also use a guide, just to help me make sure I'm on the right track, and also so I don't miss anything, and also just, you know, to help speed things along. Because if I did it on my own, I would take forever. Because I would check every nook and cranny. I would do like every little thing just to make sure I wouldn't miss anything, and it would take me too long. So that's why I use guides now. The thing that caused me to actually start using a guide was because I've told this story before, but when I played the original Final Fantasy VII, FF7, I missed 2 of the characters that could join your party because I was so focused on this the main story, and I missed like so much side stuff. In my defense, I was still kind of new to playing RPGs, and so I was not aware of how much side content there could be. I was so focused on the story. That was my thing. Guides are cool. I'm always so worried about missables. I always have a guide handy. Yeah. That's yeah, definitely. I don't want that to happen again. When we eventually play the original 7 again, I won't let that happen. I will get Yuffie and Vincent in my party, and it will be great. That's who I missed, by the way. I missed Yuffie and Vincent are optional characters, actually. You don't need them to finish the game. FYI. Yeah. I'm gonna skip this video because there's stuff about that novel that it sounds like they're essentially spoiling what's happening in that novel. And I think what I would prefer to do is to tackle everything about 10 when we get to 10. It'll be a long time. I know a lot of you are anxiously waiting. It's going to be a while though. Especially when we reach 7 is going to be a huge mountain we're going to get over because there's so much to it. Cuz we're going to tackle the whole compilation as much as we can. I kind of did want to go over I kind of want to go through the list. Because I think it's interesting. Let me go back to the ship so it's not quiet. Oh, okay. I should use stop. Can I use it on all of them? Oh no. Okay, these ones are okay. It's that brown one. Heck yeah. Can I use stop as... Wait, slow. I'll use slow on it. Yeah. black magic. Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of, yeah, okay, let me get rid of the poison. Love it. Why? Oh, you know, it's a waste actually trying to Asuna it every time. It just. Is it fire? Oh, hey, we beat it. Nice. Okay. Are you planning on doing all the FF games spin-offs included? Yes, we are. I know it's a ambitious, but that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. To play all of them, mainly the ones I haven't played before. But I will be replaying the ones I have already played because it's been so long since I played them. So when I played 1, that was a replay. I'd beaten the whole game before, but that was a long time ago. When I played 2, I had previously started it, but I hadn't gotten very far. But we beat that as well. Same thing with 3. 4, I played on stream for the first time entirely, and obviously the after years. So let me pull up this list that I found on Reddit some time ago when I was trying to find the optimal way of tackling the FF7 compilation. Sounds cool. I'm a lifelong FFN and I still haven't beaten them all. Yeah. Yeah, my first FF was actually 10. So I joined late. So and then I had to go back and like play the older ones because I was like I like this stuff. All right, so for the FF7 compilation, when we get there, so this Reddit comment, it's actually super informative. This person knows what they're talking about. And this answered my question for when I was trying to decide whether or not to play the original 7 again, as well as the remake, or just the remake. I kind of wanted to only play the remake, so I didn't have to play the original 7 again. But it looks like it's super important. They mark it as super important, and I really should just play it over again because I missed so much of the side stuff. So, so when we get there, we will be starting with the original FF7. That's number 1. Number 2. This is very optional. I want to do all the optional stuff too as well. Some things will not be as easy to do on stream, but we'll do what we can. So number 2, inform yourself about the first soldier. This was a mobile game that was around very briefly. It shut down in 2023. It released in 2021, shut down in 2023. It was a battle royale. Okay, I'm gonna just read what they say. It was a battle royale online game, which took place years before the OG and Crisis Core. See below about Crisis Core. Excuse me. You played a soldier candidate fighting other recruits in a Shinra VR simulator. It had very little lore. So we could just like read like a summary about the first soldier. That'll be easy. Number 3, this is optional. Read 2000 Guild to Become a Hero. This came out in 2024, so fairly recent. It mostly takes place the night. It mostly takes place the night Cloud left his hometown to chase his dream as a young teen. The protagonist is Cloud. It's a very short story out in Japan since a few months ago. So this comment was posted 9 months ago. Some fans have translated into English, readable on the internet. Okay, so we'll find a fan translation and read it. And then number 4, this is important. Play Crisis Core Reunion, which was released in 2022 on the PS4 and PS5. It's a remaster of Crisis Core. It takes place before the OG. The protagonist is a soldier. Crisis Core Reunion is strictly identical to Crisis Core. The only differences are better graphics and gameplay mechanics and a new dubbing. I'll read it in Japanese when I'm good enough. Yeah. I would read it in Japanese myself, but if I'm gonna read it to you guys, I'll read it in English. Number 5, this is also optional. Well, this is optional rather. Play Before Crisis. This released. How do we play it though? Oh wait, I know how we can play it. This was okay. So Play Before Crisis. Originally 2004, old mini game. Oh, thank you for the follow. You're also a Final Fantasy fan? Nice. We're all Final Fantasy fans here. Well, most of us. I know there are some people in chat that are like either not a Final Fantasy fan or just like an appreciator of Final Fantasy. And they're just humoring me. I'm the Final Fantasy, the big Final Fantasy fan. I have every single Final Fantasy game ever made. Wow, nice. That's impressive. Where was I? Okay, so yeah, Before Crisis is an old mobile game from 2004. Before smartphones. It only was released in Japan. The game has been recreated by some fans, playable on emulators, or watch a walkthrough of it. I believe that Before Crisis can now be played on the more recent mobile game of Final Fantasy VII, Ever Crisis, I believe. Let me fact check myself. I mean, I'm both. Yeah. Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. I really need to try Ever Crisis. Yeah, the only reason I haven't played Ever Crisis is because I'm waiting until we get to the 7 compilation. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is a mobile game. Planned to be released in monthly episodic installments, the game retells events from the 1997 video game Final Fantasy VII and all the canon titles in the compilation of Final Fantasy VII media franchise, including the film Advent Children, the video games Before Crisis, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus. So it sounds like they made this as a companion to the 7 remake. My favorite game ever is Final Fantasy X. That's a lot of people's favorite, yeah. That was my introduction into Final Fantasy, personally. I think this person, did they mention it? Let's see. Ever Crisis. Yeah, they mention it later. They say it's very optional, but I think it's going to become very, very not optional. Important. I would dare say important. Mine too? Yeah. Yeah, it takes place around the same time as Crisis Core, and the protagonist is a member of the Turks. The number 6, optional, read the novel Traces of Two Pasts. It was released in 2021. It was written after the remake, but can be read after the OG. Interesting. Okay. It takes place after the party leaves an iconic place in the OG/remake. 2 characters of the party talk about their childhood/teenage years and how they get to where they are now. Oh, okay. That sounds like a nice side story. Oh, it's a novel, but yeah. 7, optional. Read the novel On the Way to a Smile, released in 2009. It takes place after the OG and explains what happened to several important characters of the OG after the game. It really helps to understand the movie Advent Children. Ooh, okay. 7A, basically, very optional. Watch the OAV Case of Denzel. It's a short anime adaptation of the same part in On the Way to a Smile. Interesting. I have every version of the game. PS2, PS2 Special Edition with soundtrack, Japan Special Edition with soundtrack, Blitzball, Brotherhood Sword, PS3. Wow, wow, wow. That's impressive. Let's see. Number 8, optional. Read the novel The Kids Are Alright, A Turk's Side Story. This came out in 2011. It begins around the end of the OG and ends after Advent Children. Oh. The protagonist is a young man from Midgard who must rebuild his life after the events of the OG. Interesting. Okay. And number 9, this is important. Watch the movie Advent Children Complete, which the one that came out in 2005. It takes place around 2 years after the OG. There's a new threat directly linked to the end of the OG. So when we get to that, when we get to Advent Children, we're gonna do a watch along. I've watched it before. I don't think I've watched Complete. But yeah, when we get to that point, we'll do a watch along of Advent Children. And then number 10, very optional. Inform yourself about Dirge of Cerberus online. What? There was an online? The X online multiplayer mode of Dirge of Cerberus. See below. 2006, not playable anymore. Well, obviously. It explains how a secret organization was functioning before the events of Dirge of Cerberus. The protagonist was a deep ground recruit. What? 10A, optional. Play Dirge of Cerberus. Came out in 2006 on PS2. Potentially playable on Ever Crisis, it sounds like. Or watch a walkthrough of it. It takes place 1 year after. Oh, okay. I was actually curious when Dirge of Cerberus takes place. So it takes place 1 year after Advent Children. The protagonist is a character of the party who faces new enemies and discovers the dark secrets of his past. Okay. I think it's Genesis, if I'm not mistaken. I don't, or Genesis might even be an antagonist. Don't tell me. I wanna know. Well, I'll find out rather. I don't care what anyone says. Dirge of Cerberus is rad. Yeah, there's some pretty polarizing opinions of Dirge of Cerberus. Some people love it. Well, I feel like a lot of people don't like it. A few people do like it. I don't know. And then 10B, extremely optional. Play Lost Episode of Dirge of Cerberus. 2006 old mobile game before smartphones. Now playable on emulators, ? Or watch a walkthrough of it. I'm that FF fans that loves all the bad games. I mean, maybe I could be considered that too, because there hasn't been an FF I haven't liked so far. Like, I enjoyed FF2, and a lot of people that one gets, that's like the forgotten child, if I do say so myself. I think a lot of people didn't enjoy the jobs, well, I guess the leveling system in 2. I was okay with it. It's fine. It's a midquel of Dirge of Cerberus. Oh, it takes place during a very short time gap. A travel of Dirge of Cerberus. The protagonist is the same as Dirge of Cerberus. Okay, 11. Super important. Play the new trilogy in the making. So, remake, and then episode intermission. So this would be remake intergrade, right? In fairness, the leveling system in 2 was a lot worse back in the NES version. Not sure what version you played. Yeah. I played the Pixel remaster, so it has all of the nice the features that makes it nicer. Pixel remaster is great. I highly recommend it. Only reason that we're playing the 3D version of 4 and it is because of it has more story. The 3D version has more story, and the After Years and it pairs well with the After Years. Because there's no Pixel remaster for the After Years. So, oh, hold on, Doggo wants to come in. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Back in the NES version, your stats would go down. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm glad I played the... I'm glad I could play the Pixel Remaster version instead. Okay. And then Rebirth, which came out last year. And then play whatever comes after Rebirth. The remake Intergrade is just a remastered version of remake for PS5 yeah, that's what I mentioned. The new trilogy is not a remaster. It can be quite considered as a sequel or a multiverse / metagame. It's unclear. Yeah, so that's the interesting thing about the remake. Like, the very core of it is the same, but they've like added a lot or changed some things. So like both are canon technically at the same time. It's a little complicated. And then after we play the remake, although I think we're going to be playing it along like before the remake, honestly, play Ever Crisis, which is the mobile game that's out now. Came out, I believe it came out 2 years ago. Wow, it feels like it only came out last year. So it's kind of a recap of all of the compilation with some slight additions and clarifications. A small part of it is also new content about the beginning of the soldier program and the missions assigned to some prototypes of soldiers featuring young Sephiroth. The protagonist is one of these first soldiers and his teammates. They made a couple notes here. Ultimania's interviews from the devs, etc., are canon side contents. Okay. Attention, some content is not canon or has contested canonicity, such as the OAV Last Order or the novel The Maiden Who Travels the Planet. Okay. Yeah, they didn't mention it. So that is essentially what we'll be doing when we get to the Final Fantasy VII compilation, which is still a little while. We have to finish the After Years, our current game, and then we're gonna be playing. Oh my gosh, or playing / watching. What was it called? Interlude. So there's like a midquill, like a short midquill. Actually, I don't know if it's short, but there's a midquill of that takes place between 4 and the After Years. Yeah, we have a list. That one is a little tricky because that only came out, I think, with the PSP version of 4. That was bundled with 4 and the After Years. I don't know if I'm gonna play it on. I bought the PSP version. I own it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it on an emulator or just watch a playthrough of it, or like a playthrough of it. We'll figure that out when we get there. That might be kind of soon. No, that won't be anytime soon. We still have a lot of grinding to do in the After Years, and beat the game. FF7 will take 2 years alone, maybe 3. Yeah, seriously. So then after we finish the After Years, we have to play 4 Interlude, and then we can play 5. 5 is standalone. There are no sequels or anything that I know of, and same thing with 6. So yeah, we have a long road ahead of us. All right, I think this is where I would like to wrap up. We did a lot of yapping today and nerding about Final Fantasy, which is a good time. Oh, let me get rid of the poison on Harley. Actually, let me use Rosa's because she has more MP. I'm getting poisoned again immediately the next time we fight those things, but yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Wait, no, let me go back in. It's quiet. I forgot. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. We're gonna continue this tomorrow around the same time. I'll try to start earlier but expect the stream to start around 7:30 Pacific. And yeah, that is all for now. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the stream. Please leave a comment if you would like to share your thoughts. Please subscribe on YouTube and or follow on Twitch if you would like to see more Final Fantasy streams. And if you're going to bed, I hope you rest well and have sweet dreams. If your day's just getting started, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Ta-ta! Otsumika!